We're going to continue to move on. Next, we're going to have Mr. Michael Zachary with Natural Resource Conservation Service. He's going to be our next presenter. Mr. Zachary is the outreach coordinator with NRCS. So at this time, let's give our undivided attention to Mr. Zachary.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. Chavis, for this opportunity to be with you all on Third Thursday. I do apologize for not being there in person, but thank goodness for technology that we can be with you virtually. So on this morning, we're going to share just briefly, as K Card said, a 50,000 foot view overview of some funding opportunities that we have here at NRCS. Okay, so once again, it's 5 steps to assistance. Basically, if you have not worked with NRCS, this is the easiest way for you to be able to work with us. So we take you through the planning phase, the application phase, eligibility, ranking, and the implementing whatever practices that you're going to do. So basically, you want to reach out to the local USDA service center and ask for assistance. Now, of course, with all the counties that we have in Kentucky, there's not a county, there's not an office in every county. So some offices cover multiple counties. And there is a resource that at the end of this presentation, I will make sure that I mention so that you will know how you get in contact with the service center that is responsible for your county area. So this is how you get assistance from NRCS. So our programs are 2 different ways. We have the funded and non-funded program. So let's talk about the non-funded program first, which is CTA, or Certified Technical Assistance. This is free to everyone. So it provides you with one-on-one advice. So to give you an example of what that means, you contact your local USDA service center and you said, hey, I'm interested in doing XYZ at my farm or at my home. And what will happen is a representative will come out to your property and take a look at the issue that you're trying to address. And what they will do is they will give you expert advice on how to mitigate the problem that you might be having, or to give you some hints on to help your production or whatever it is that you're trying to do. That is free to you, and it's for everyone. So you don't have to pay any out-of-pocket fee for anybody to come out and help you with something that you want to do. Now, as the second bullet says, most of these plans lead to the development of a conservation plan. So let's say, for example, you want to do some fencing, or you want to do something with a waterway or whatever, and they will construct a plan for you. And what they'll do with that plan is they'll keep that plan on file. But they'll also give you a copy of the plan, because you have the right to either implement that plan yourself, or you can then enter into an agreement with us for us to assist you with the implementation of the plan. So that's what CTA is all about. So the next thing we're going to talk a little bit about is our EQIP program, which is the Environment and Quality Incentive Program. And as stated, you have to be eligible from step 1. So what this does is provide both financial and technical assistance. And we take EQIP applications throughout the year. Now, where there's some misunderstanding is that there is a ranking system with our EQIP programs, and we have cutoff dates. So if the cutoff date for, let's say, fiscal year 24 money, for you to get paid in this year, say that cutoff was December, we'll still take applications now, but it just means that you missed the ranking, so you won't get funded until next year if you qualify. So some people misunderstand that, how the ranking goes and how the funding happens for our equip program. So normally you can go all throughout the year, have somebody come out and say, oh yes, I'm interested in this. Or one of the things that's real common here in Kentucky is the high tunnels. A lot of people want high tunnels. And so you get an NRCS employee to come out, and they'll do your plan for you. And then you say, okay, I want to put in for a high tunnel. Well, if you miss the cutoff for it, they will still take your application. But you missed the cutoff, so you won't get funding for this year, but you will go into the pool for next year. The other thing on here is the advance payment. That is also possible. If you do qualify, you can do an advance payment. But a note is, with completion of advance payment practices, they are required in 90 days. So you have to pay that money back within that 90 days. If you don't do the practice and they paid you, you're gonna have to get that money back. So once again, the applications. How do we rank applications? That's another issue. So the applications are ranked according to local resource concerns and the amount of conservation benefits. And the funds are awarded on a competitive process. So what happens is, let's say you're in Jefferson County and somebody else is in, let's say, Fayette County, and we're ranking contracts. It depends on what the local resource concerns are and the amount of money in those pools. So that might be 30 people in Jefferson County that get funded and only 20 people in Fayette County that get funded. So we fund until all the money is gone. And so whatever the resource concerns may be, based on our state conservationist, his top priorities, then that's how that funding pool is constructed. So we have gotten a lot of questions in regards to that and how that works, and what is the formula or whatever. I can be honest with you, I have no idea what the formula is. I know it's computerized, but there are some specifics that the state conservationists will say, these are the top priorities. So based on those priorities, certain areas will get more funding than other areas. So just wanted to make sure that I let that be known. So then your practices can range anywhere from 1 year to 10 years, from less than $1,000 to over $100,000 for your the funding amount. And as I said, some of the examples: high tunnels, animal waste system, grazing practice, cover crops, wildlife, forestry, land practice, etc. So those are things that you can do with the EQIP. Our next one is the CSP. And same as EQIP, you got to be eligible from step 1. Now, CSP, a big misnomer that we've found out. A lot of people think that you have to do EQIP before you do CSP. That is not true. But what happens is, if you've already participated in EQIP, then you kind of understand how NRCS work. So CSP is a little bit more I would say, stringent of a program. So it enhanced what you've already been doing. So it's kind of what we call the big brother of equip, but you don't have to start off with equip. You can go straight into CSP. And so that third bullet talks about the producer must meet a criteria of a minimum threshold on all land uses to be eligible for the program. So it's a little bit harder to get in CSP, but CSP pays a whole lot more. And so if funded, contracts span 5 years with option to renew of additional 5 years. So you don't do a 1-year CSP. It's 5 years with the option to renew for an additional 5 years. Then we have these other programs such as RCPP, which is our Regional Conservation Partnership Program. We have the CIG, which is the Conservation Innovation Grants. We have easement programs, watershed programs, and these initiatives, they're site and area specific. So I won't get too in the weeds with those, but talk to your local office about, and normally what they'll do is they will send that information up to our state office so that you can meet with one of the specialists about one of these type of programs, whether it be the CIG, RCPP, easement and stuff. So we have those specialists that work at the state office. And like I said before, these are some references that you can go to if you want to learn more about the conservation practice. You can just go to the nrcs.usda.gov, and once you go to that site, you can just go to the technical page, and it'll tell you about each one of our conservation practice, give you a little bit more in-depth look about our conservation practices. Also on that website, there's what's called a service center locator. So if you go to service center locator, it'll tell you what office you need to go to for your county. And this is it right here. So that's the office center website. So at this time, I'm going to open up for any questions or comments from anyone there.
Thank you, Michael. This is David Neville. I understand there's some confusion around with a lot of folks around how ratings and rankings are with computerized algorithm. So there's some big computer algorithm out there that rates and ranks, and a lot of folks don't understand that. And so I have a question, I have concerns about that, but also, are there any counties in Kentucky that are excluded from EQIP high tunnels?
Thank you, Mr. Neville, for your question. Not to my knowledge, there's not any counties that are excluded, but what I can share, as I've learned a little bit more about the process. So sometimes what we have is what's called a focused conservation practice area. So depending on what area you're a part of or that work unit that is a part of a specific project, that area will get ranked. And so what happens is a lot of times, so I'll use Jefferson County as an example. So Jefferson County, with the focus on urban agriculture, small ag or whatever, so they will get a lot of the attention, and because they fall into that same area that you have Shelbyville and some of the other smaller counties and everything like that. A lot of the money will be funneled into Jefferson because of the focus on urban ag. And so then some of the other counties will miss out because they won't rank as high because of the focused conservation practice. So I didn't know that originally coming in. That was explained to me. But I will share this with you all on Monday, well, Tuesday, because Monday was a holiday. On Tuesday, we did get our new state conservationist. His name is Eric Allness. I would invite you all to meet with him. We don't know what his new plan is going to be as far as focused conservation practices in those natures. He's coming to us from Wisconsin, so we'll see what his new plan is going to be. But that's some of the issues that we've ran into, Mr. Neville, where some of our smaller counties haven't been as competitive because of the focused conservation practices.
Can we in particular focus some concerns around Henry County? You know, as you know, I did a FOIA request, and from 2017 to 2021, there was something like 838 contracts let for high tunnels throughout the state. Over 50% of the counties received high tunnels, some 25 and 30, and some as many as 60 high tunnels. In Henry County, in particular, there was no high tunnels contracted on that report. Now, some of the folks in NRCS have pushed back on that and said, yeah, there were, but we redacted, et cetera, et cetera. But from the report, there was none in Henry County. Can we do a focused concerns, interests, however you want to state it, but it seems a little unfair that Henry County gets none and some other counties get 25 or 30 or 60, et cetera. Now, several folks within NRCS have tried to address that issue, but every time they try, I do my homework and look at it, and it's kind of not really valid. So can we not exclude Henry County from high tunnels via EQIP? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will definitely take that back once again to the new state conservationist in conjunction with the area field operations officer for Henry County. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for the work that you do, Mr. Neville.
Is at this time? Yes, sir.
What was the name of the new conservationist? What was the name of the new state conservationist?
Yes, his name is Eric Allness, ALLNESS.
Could you put the last slide up again, please? We didn't get the contact for the service center.
Sure.
All right. All right, thank you.
Are there any more questions? If not, we're going to continue. Let's give Mr. Zachary a hand.